Canned cherries, apple cider vinegar, 24 hours, zero added sugar. Every cherry topping on the shelf starts the same way: cherries, sugar, corn syrup, done. And the fermented versions online want fresh cherries in 3 days you don't have. I used a can. I used vinegar, and in 24 hours, I had something I didn't expect. Why vinegar and not whey or kombucha? And what actually happens to canned fruit when you ferment it for a full day? I'm answering both and showing you exactly what this turned into. Stay with me. I used canned tart cherries for this, and there's a real reason why. Tart cherries, I found, have an incredibly short growing season, just a few weeks in early summer. I checked multiple grocery stores near me for fresh or frozen tart cherries and came up empty every time. Canned was the only reliable option I could find. Search tart cherries online, and almost every article says the same thing: they help you sleep. That's true, but it's also the only thing anyone talks about. What gets left out is what's actually going on nutritionally and what fermentation does to that profile once you start the process. Tart cherries carry a concentrated dose of anthocyanins, the same antioxidant compounds responsible for their deep red color, along with a natural anti inflammatory profile that shows up in more than just the sleep research. I'll get into the specific of what that means in a minute. Quick note before we go further: this is the fermentation weight you'll see holding the cherries under the liquid in a second. It's a 4 pack with an easy grip handle, made for wide mouth mason jars, and it's genuinely made this process simpler. I'll link the exact one I use in the description. One more thing before we get into the science: what you're about to see isn't only an ice cream topping. The texture holds up enough that if you baked the same base into a crust, it would work as a real pie filling too. I'm using it as a topping today, but it's not limited to that. So here's what's actually coming: what tart cherries do nutritionally beyond sleep, what happens to that profile after a 24-hour ferment, and why a can from a grocery store works just as well as anything fresh. Most content only covers one of those. We're covering all three. When I started digging into tart cherries, I expected to find one thing: the sleep angle. That's the study everyone repeats. What I actually found was a lot more. Tart cherries have some of the highest antioxidant content of any fruit, and that deep red color you see in this jar is basically the visible proof of it. That same antioxidant activity has been tied to lower inflammation in the body, better cholesterol markers, and even blood pressure in a few studies. Then there's the one athletes have known about for years, but most home cooks haven't. Tart cherry juice is one of the most studied natural recovery drinks in sports nutrition, used specifically to cut down on muscle soreness after hard training. But the benefit people actually search for the most is gout. And this is where I want to slow down for a second, because the story here is more complicated than most videos let on. Several studies, including a 2019 review that pulled together 6 separate trials, found tart cherry juice linked to lower uric acid and fewer gout flare ups. That's a real published pattern. But it's not the whole story I found. A more recent randomized trial found no measurable effect on uric acid at all, and another study found no drop in actual flare ups either. So if you came here hoping I'd hand you a guarantee, I can't. What I can tell you is that the research is genuinely split, and anyone who tells you it's settled either way isn't being straight with you. Which brings me to the fermentation question, because I ran into that same exact problem. I could not find a single study on fermented tart cherries specifically, not one. So I'm not going to stand here and tell you fermenting this fruit is scientifically proven to boost any of what I just walked you through. So why did I ferment it at all? Honestly, I assumed there would be a benefit. Fermentation gets treated like a blanket positive in a lot of health content, and I expected the research to back that up here. It didn't. That doesn't mean there's no benefit to it. It just means nobody's actually tested this exact process yet. And I'd rather tell you that up front than pretend otherwise. 24 hours after I started, this is what a can of tart cherries turned into. The vinegar wasn't there to boost any specific nutrient. It was the fastest, most accessible starter I had on hand compared to kombucha or whey, which some fermentation recipes call for instead. And what happens to canned fruit over 24 hours of fermentation is this: the cherries soften further, the flavor turns sweetly tart, almost bright, and the liquid left behind becomes something you don't want to throw away. Here's exactly how I got there, start to finish. Drain the 2 cans of pitted tart cherries. Then cover them with 4 tablespoons of raw apple cider vinegar with the mother, plus the reserved canning liquid, and add any filtered water as needed to fully submerge everything. Weight it down with a fermentation weight, cover loosely, and let it sit at room temperature. Taste a cherry starting around the 12-hour mark. I went the full 24 hours before I stopped mine. For the topping, bloom half a teaspoon of gelatin into 2 teaspoons of the cold reserved liquid for 5 minutes. Then in a saucepan, combine a cup and a half of the drained cherries, about half of what you fermented, with 1/4 cup more of that reserved. Simmer for 10 to 12 minutes, mashing some of the cherries as you go until it reduces by more than half into something thick and jammy. Off the heat, whisk in the bloom gelatin until it disappears. Then stir in a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla and add a pinch of salt. Let it cool at room temperature for 15 minutes, then refrigerate for 30 to 45 minutes until it sets or until you're ready to use it. This is the part where I actually taste it. It's tart first, then it rounds out sweet, and the texture holds together enough to sit on a spoon without running everywhere. No added sugar, no fresh fruit that's out of season, just a can, some vinegar, and a day. And because it sets this firm, it's not limited to ice cream. Bake this same base into a crust and it holds up as a real pie filling too. If you want the other fruit ferments in this series, lemon and blueberry so far, they're linked in the description. And if a can of tart cherries has been sitting in your pantry doing nothing, now you know what to do with it. Subscribe if you want to see where this fermentation series goes next, and I'll see you in the next one.